What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. Listen, I had already recorded this video and it got corrupted. It is gone. So we're going to do it again. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, we start this episode off. Listen, Ready to Love. Y'all didn't have to give us a whole to be continued last week because that last little bit of 2 or 3 little bit of footage that y'all gave us at the beginning of this episode, y'all ain't even have to do all that and try to carry it over. Like, we could have seen that last week, but neither here nor there. Liz and David are still trying to talk over each other. Liz is trying to tell David that you ain't ready to love, and David is trying to tell Liz, well, I self-eliminated, so you can't tell me I ain't ready to love. You can't fire me because I quit. That's basically all it was. David knew what that conversation was. David knew where that conversation was going, and he ain't wanted to be seen that he got put off the show. He wanted to make it seem like, well, he quit. He said, well, I self-eliminated myself. I took myself out of the running. And Liz was like, okay, well, let's talk, though. Like, I really want us to talk. I really want you to hear what I have to say. David won't try to hear it. He ran away, honey. He wouldn't even talk to the producers. But then he came back to the producers, and he told the producers that no matter what they say, he is ready to love. And he is very disappointed, and he just going to keep praying for everybody. Okay. Then we got Ron on the other side talking to Alexis, and Alexis told Ron, listen, you ain't ready to love. And Ron was like, oh, I lost a little respect for you just now. I thought you were smarter than that. Ooh. Then he said, well, I went out on a date with Amber yesterday anyway, and I kissed her, so I mean, it is what it is. Like, I knew, I mean, you ain't have to tell me I wasn't ready to love. Like, I was over it. It is what it is. And I was like, what is up with these soft-ass dudes that can't take rejection? Like, y'all been running around here like y'all shit don't stick this whole season, especially you, Mr. Ron. And now, when it come down to it and the people decide that, you know what, it just ain't for you, bruh. This ain't your place. And ain't nobody here. The woman of your dreams ain't here. Now it's, well, whatever. I mean, I thought you were smarter than that. I mean, I know that sounds arrogant, but it is what it is. Boy, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, I thought that was I was like, listen, be one. If you can't handle what comes with this show, which means that you will be eliminated, you will be rejected, you know, again, there's only a few people that's going to find what they're looking for. It's a dating show. The purpose of the show is that 10 people date 10 people in a matter of how many weeks, and we see who the last man standing is. Somebody going to be a damn eliminated. And I'm sick of y'all acting like little kids when it's your turn. Sit down and take the shit like everybody else got to take the shit. Anyway. They get to the men's lounge, and it's 4 men left. And Tommy says, listen, we're gonna send you guys down to a little house, down to the outside. You know, they gonna rent them a nice little Airbnb, and they gonna hang out for the weekend, you know, with the women that's left and with the men that's left. Now, listen, we know that basically we are down to, we got, unless something crazy happens, which it might, you know, we had, well, at least, and listen, at the beginning of this weekend, let me say it that way. At the beginning of this weekend, we had Joel and Vernisha, like I said at the beginning. Chris and Amber at the beginning. And then we had, the rest was a bunch of love triangles. We had Jason, Kyra, and Liz in the whole little love triangle. Then we had AJ, Alexis, and Kyra in a whole little love triangle. So we had 2 little love triangle situations going on, okay? Now, Liz is in a very precarious situation because she only got her eye on one person. Alexis is in a very precarious situation because she only got her eye on one person. So if that person decides the other person, then they in trouble. But anyway, and it is a men's elimination week, so we're going to see how this whole thing works itself out. Now, everybody arrives, there's hugs and kisses all around, and they got their little drinks and their champagne, and people is flirting, and, you know, they having a good time, okay? Everybody is everything. It's good. It's all love. It's all gravy. It's all great. Now, Alexis got a little beef to pick with AJ because she felt like she was trying to call AJ after she had to eliminate Ron and how nasty that whole situation went and how that went down. And she felt like, well, AJ wasn't there for her. AJ didn't answer her phone call. And she said, normally if I call him or text him, I get a response. But all of a sudden, I was on mute. And I'm not understanding what the problem is. And so I feel some kind of way because I feel like when I needed AJ wasn't there for me. Then we had something that I did not see coming. Amber, you were messy. Ooh, you messy, Amber. So we had Amber, Venetia, and Joel. And Joelle, excuse me. And Joelle and Venetia, they just flirting, and they doing what they do. And all of a sudden, Amber lets it be known. Well, I was told at the last men's deliberation, Joelle said if he had to go home with somebody, he was going home with Kyra. Baby, both Venetia and Kyra was like, what? You said what? With who? I said, where is this coming from? Now let's be clear. Amber, that was messy as hell. And at the end of the day, you broke girl code because you embarrassed the hell out of Venetia. At the end of the day, yes, Joelle had 2 weeks to let her know what was going on, but you could have at least pulled him aside and said, listen, if you don't tell her I am, because I'm not going to have her running around here looking crazy, thinking that, you her number one, and she run around here telling everybody that you her man, and you then picked a whole different woman. You also could have pulled Venetia aside and said, listen, girl, this is what I had heard down to the men's lounge, and this is what was said. And then you could have let them handle it however they needed to handle it. I know it's all about making good TV and all of that, but Amber, you let them set you up because that was messy as hell. And then, like Joelle said, well, who the hell told you to begin with? Because what happens in the men's lounge is supposed to stay in the men's lounge. Well, I guess the men's lounge ain't Vegas, honey, because word got out. Now, immediately, and then Kyra's on the sideline like, what? How my name get in this? I didn't have nothing to do with this. I didn't ask, involve, or put myself in the middle of none of this. What we talking about? So, Venetia is now talking to Joelle, trying to figure out where did this come from. I thought we were good. I thought we was on the same page. I thought everything was everything. So where in the world did this come from? And of course, she's embarrassed as hell because this happened in front of everybody. Thank you, Amber. And at the end of the day, Venetia in her feelings, and she should be. And Joelle is sitting on the sideline trying to figure out how he can fix it because he done came back to his senses, and she's back to being his number one, but he done screwed it up. Honey, Venetia was ready to share a room with you and everything. So then we have a whole Seagram's commercial. Listen, I'm not going to entertain it. They done bought out the coolers. They done made a bunch of slushies. Everybody is everything. Listen, get your Seagram's food on. Commercial on. Tommy, I ain't mad at you. On, I ain't mad at you. Do what you got to do, okay? Now, after the commercial, we had the ladies outside talking and the guys inside talking. Now, listen, the ladies outside are talking, and the whole conversation, the main conversation is Miss Kyra and Miss Alexis. Alexis is like, Kyra is playing games. She know that she got these 2 men interested in her, and she is playing games. She know who she really wants. She just ain't trying to say nothing, and she trying to draw this out for as long as she can. Kyra said, at the end of the day, I really don't know yet. And I'm not going to choose somebody based on who chose me. I'm going to choose the person that I want to choose, who I think is best for this situation. It is what it is. Deal with it, honey. Lexus ain't feeling it. Now, inside, we have AJ and Jason sort of having similarly the same conversation about options and decisions, okay? And once again, it's all about... Listen, I feel like Kyra is in the driver's seat because that whole triangle is connected to Miss Kyra, okay? Now, AJ, Alexis, Jason, and Liz... AJ, Kyra, excuse me. AJ and Liz, they go horseback riding, okay? And it was a nice time. The horse just stomped on Liz's foot, but that works out to her favor a little later on. We're going to get there in a second. But they have a nice date. They have a nice time. It's all cool. Now, after the date, Liz and Jason, they go off into a little gazebo, have some alone time, and that's when she gets Jason to rub her foot for her because the horse done stomped on a big toe, honey. And he gets to rubbing her feet, and they get to being all romantical. And guess what, honey? They kiss. And it's a big kiss. It's a good kiss. It's a long, juicy kiss with tongue and everything, okay? It's a whole situation, right? Now, while that's going on, Joelle is trying to play damage control with Venetia. They cooking dinner. She helping him cook. And she trying to talk to him and get him to understand how she feels. She said, listen, at the end of the day, you was always my number one. Every time I was in the ladies' lounge, it was just you. No other name came out my mouth. And for me to feel like that the first time me and you have an argument or a disagreement, you ready to jump on the next thing smoking, how you think that make me feel? First of all, how you think that made me look to everybody else? But second of all, how do you think that makes me feel? Because that makes me feel like the first time we have an argument or a disagreement, you're going to be out the door. I mean, in this situation, you was like, well, I'm just going to pick the next person, which was real petty. But then it's like, well, I'm just going to be out the door then. Then I'm out. I'm moving. I'm doing my own thing. And Joel didn't seem to understand where she was coming from. And all he had to say was he was sorry. All he had to say was, I was in my feelings. We was in the men's lounge, and I was mad at you, and so I was being petty, and my way of getting back at you was to be petty. That's all he had to say. But he couldn't do that. He kept trying to explain and justify, and baby, ain't no justification for that. None. So Renisha ends up walking off, and she's like, listen, it's a wrap. I'm done. It's over. I'm done with this. Like, it's done for me. Y'all can vote me off the island. I'm good. So Chris, being a man on his G thing, Chris goes in the kitchen, and Chris says, listen, bruh, are you done with Renisha? And Joel is like, nah, I ain't done. He said, okay, well, the way she talking outside, it's a wrap. I don't know what you need to do. You need to bring Boys and Men down from the descendant from heaven and sing on bended knee or something, because she is talking like this whole situation is a wrap and she can't get over it, okay? So you need to figure some things out, bruh. And, you know, of course, Joel is like, damn, like that? And Chris is like, yeah, man, like that. So they're eating dinner, and, you know, Joel trying to side up to Renisha. He trying to talk to Renisha. He apologizes and everything. And, you know, I feel like they're in that place where we had an argument. You know, Renisha ain't going to keep the argument dragging on for the rest of the trip. But it's in the back of her mind. She ain't forgot. She done letting them move on a little bit. But she is definitely not forgot what happened. Okay. Then, after dinner, you know, they decide they're going to get together and play a little Truth or Dare. You know, Truth or Dare is always a good little party starter, right? And we had a couple of little lights. Somebody was rubbing somebody else's feet, and somebody was kissing, and, you know, all that good stuff. Oh, hold on. Let me rewind before I get to the Truth or Dare. AJ and Alexis had a conversation, and Alexis is letting AJ know that, listen, you weren't there when I needed you. When I called you, you ain't answer your phone. That make me feel like you unreliable. I feel like you've been acting a little funny. What's going on? Like, have you changed your mind? Are you not feeling me? Like, be honest and upfront. Now, on AJ's side, AJ is like, listen, I'm feeling Alexis. I'm here with Alexis. I'm trying to make this whole thing work with Alexis. But at the end of the day, I feel like me and her keep arguing about the same thing. Like, I like her, but I'm not going to keep having the same conversation over and over again. Like, you call me, I ain't answer, girl. You're not my woman. It is what it is, okay? And he said he feels like he's torn between the woman he wants and the woman he needs. Needs and wants. It's always a conversation. You got to figure out in your mind the need versus the want. So, with all of that being said, like I said, back to the Truth or Dare game. Alexis is still holding on to her little feelings about the situation with Ron, that little tidbit that Ron threw out at the end of his little tantrum. She's still holding on to it. So, at some point during the game, Alexis let it be known, Amber, I got a problem with you. I got a bone to pick with you, okay? Because Ron told me that you went out on a date with him and y'all kissed. And I feel some kind of way about that. You know why I feel some kind of way about that? Because I thought me and you was cool. I thought me and you was homegirls. I thought me and you was working on a real good relationship. Out of all of the women here, I talked to you the most. Me and you, I used to tell you about how I felt about Ron. I used to tell you about my problems and my conflictions with the situation with Ron. Me and you used to you even prayed over it with me, honey. And for me to find out that you went on a whole date with Ron and you never mentioned it to me, ma'am, me and you got a problem, okay? Me and you got a little bit of beef. We ain't on the same page. We ain't thinking the same way, okay? Now, Amber is sitting there looking like a deer caught in headlights. She is like, what? Huh? I mean, what? Ooh. Now you know how I feel, Miss Amber. Now you know how I feel to be called out in front of the whole group on some bullshit that somebody could have pulled you aside and said, okay? Now, Chris, on the other hand, is looking sideways at Amber like, we need to have a conversation. No, y'all don't. Y'all don't need to have a conversation about nothing. You know why y'all don't need to have a conversation about nothing, Chris? Chris, I like you. You know I do, KG. We go back to last season, and I felt like you was done dirty. But I told you all season, you can't do this season what you did last season. And what did you do? You did this season what you did last season. So, no, you can't be mad at Amber for going out on a date with a man who was on the show. That's what y'all supposed to be doing. And you can't even get mad that she kissed the boy, okay? Now, Do you feel like maybe she could have told you about it? Sure. But it ain't nothing for y'all to talk about. It ain't nothing for y'all to be mad about. Hell, he ain't even on the show no more. You can't be mad at Amber for playing the game the way the game is supposed to be played. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if you had gotten eliminated, Amber was making sure she had herself a backup plan. That's it. That's all. I think if she had to choose, she would choose Chris. Now, Ron did throw out that he talked to Amber all the time. But I feel like all of them are talking back and forth. I feel like they've been dates. I feel like they've been sleepovers that we don't know nothing about. That we'll find out about on the interviews and people telling all the business. Hell, at the reunion, we're gonna find out all the drama. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of where it was left off, with Amber looking like a deer caught in the headlights and Alexis sitting there looking like, what you gonna do now? Okay. We'll see what it is next week. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.